Today we are going to learn our ViewLift tool, how we can use for the live streaming. The agenda is the type of live streaming. There are two types, self-services and third-party live and linear feeds. And second, we will cover input protocols for receiving the input feed from event location. What are those protocols? We will see in little bit wide way. So about Hls Pool, RTMP push, RTMP pull, JXC push, IVS push. These are the protocols supported from our side. Next one, we will learn about the encoder configuration, the recommended parameter for configuring encoders and what profile we put for the ADR, adaptive bitrate, while doing HLS. Next one would be what are the delivery formats to which we are delivering our live streaming content. At the end of this, do a hands-on how to create all these things. So you would be aware about the live streaming. Here I have segregated as per our proposals. One is the self-service and second one is the third-party live linear feed. Self-service means where the customers are given a privilege so that they can create live streaming workflow on their own by using the ViewLift Tool Platform. It means we have given a permission to the customer, a client, they can create themselves for the live streaming workflow. Second one is the third party. Sometimes what happens, you used to fetch some live feed from other source or other provider. Sometimes mostly they used to give HLS input to you and how you will populate to your video and start the live stream at your own platform. That is called third party. The RTMP push is a widely known protocol. It's a real-time messaging protocol. It's a commonly used protocol used for the streaming audio, video, or data over the internet. From the client side, means from the source location, we give some targeted endpoint location. The source location encoder would push to that particular RTMP address, and we receive those things in our encoders. And this way, the connection get established. So there are certain things needed to be considered, like whenever anyone is pushing RTMP output, so what should be the encoding parameter? Normally they should encode over the single bitrate. We used to prefer to send the video over the full HD, means 1080p or 1080i, means it should be a 1920 cross 1080, and their bitrate would be 5.5 Mbps to 6 Mbps is recommended for the better quality. But if network bandwidth is lower, so they can set bit lower, but we recommend this range 5.5 to 6 Mbps, and their rate control would be severe, not media. Their frame rate could be 30 fps, higher also for 60 fps. And we support for the video codec H.264 ABC, advanced video codec, that is MPEG-4. And here audio would be, the bitrate would be between 160 to 192 kbps, or you can also increase or reduce up to start from 128 kbps is also acceptable with a good audio quality with the sampling rate 48 kilohertz. But please ensure that audio codec should be advanced audio codec, AAC. Sometimes we used to create two pipeline to maintain redundancy. So you used to target two RTMP. There would be one primary and other would be backup. For sending two RTMP for the same event, please ensure that the both video resolution and bitrate should be identical, means exactly same. Because if one fails, it will fail over from the other one. The output quality would remain same. Please ensure that both output should be the same. And also I have explained about the sample RTMP URL. So you can see here. So there would be RTMP forward slash, there would be some public IP. Then there is a 1935 support number slash, there is a ViewLift primary slash PK underscore ABCD1234. So I'm explaining this. Sometimes I have realized that in the engineer, in the encoder who is configuring all this, sometimes creates some problem and we doesn't get proper stream, and we could not establish a connection between our encoder to the client side encoder. So please make sure all these things should be properly configured. So there are two parts in this RTMP URL. I have mentioned in red RTMP /123.4.access.1935 slash viewlift underscore primary. Up to this whole URL called the stream server URL. And the other part, last forward slash PK underscore ABCD1234 is called stream key. So if in your encoder, there are two separate places where you are putting stream URL and other is for the stream key, then copy up to primary, RTMP to up to primary in stream URL, and from PK underscore this one, ABCD1234 to the stream key, and then you can start streaming. Then this will establish the connectivity between end location and up to our location. This is recommended whenever we start the channel. After starting the channel, this RTMP should be started. Otherwise, once you start RTMP from the event location, it will go in the throttle mode. It means it is trying to push the data, but the other encoder, which is going to receive all these things for further encoding and processing and up to sending all this thing over the CDN, it won't receive. So it is recommended that after starting the actual encoding encoder, then you start the RTMP URL pushing. Like RTMP push, there is the RTMP pool, but there is a bit differences. RTMP pool use where we used to retrieve the RTMP URL from the client side, means from the event location. Then we use RTMP pool. So normally this is very rarely used. Now going on next, HLS pool. We all are aware that HLS is widely used, and we can accept the HLS input in our encoder. So our encoder is flexible to receive the HLS pool and get all the data and can re-encode, then package, then again deliver the services to the cloud front. Mostly HLS pools is also required whenever there is a we need to live to word conversion. So we use HLS pool in that cases. Sometimes HLS you are also protected with security tokens, token kind of things. So those could be free so that we can receive. Otherwise, those username and password should be provided so that we can fetch them. There are some other protocol we support like Jixi Post. This is a Jixi proprietary software defined platform where they used to stream over their proprietary protocol. We also support the Jixi push, and there is other IVS interactive video services push. This is also widely used. In interactive video services, it is a low latency one. So, but it is rarely used, not widely used. Basically, RTMP and HLS is widely used. Basically, you can get all the encoder having featured with RTMP and HLS, but this Jixi and IVS are barely integrated with those ones. Since we are doing delivery over the content delivery net, we know that HLS is the widely used protocol for delivering the output forming for our devices which are connected with the internet. So for doing that, we used to send AVR encoding. In that case, what we do, we used to encode the same content with the multiple bitrate. Means one would be higher resolution, other would be a bit lower, and other would be lesser and the low resolution. Basically, sometimes we are sending all the data over internet. The internet speed would be sometimes high, sometimes low. Basically, it is unmanaged network, so we don't know. But we hope for the best. The network should be stable with good quality. So when the network would be good, it will automatically fetch the higher resolution. So for those kind of things, we use multiple resolutions. So these are the profiles you can see on the screen. Here is only 4, but we can customize up to more one. Like here, even we can customize the bitrate also according to the our agreement. Like it is 5.5 Mbps. 5500 kbps is the 5.5 Mbps. We can make it lower, we can make it to 6 Mbps also. As per customer requirement, we can make changes here. Frame rate also can be changed. Even we can send the same resolution with 60 fps, sometimes 30 fps, 59.97. But here we recommend to use our codec up to H.264, and audio codec would be advanced audio codec AAC, that is AACLC, low complexity. So these are the different renditions. Even we can add more renditions as per our agreement. If customer needed that we need a few more renditions, so we can add those things and we can populate with our tool.
We've received a query. Is variable bitrate supported in push mode?
See, in RTMP, if you go in the configuration mode now, this only supports CVR mode. For RTMP, it's a CVR. Once you are sending HLS, sometimes it takes the VVR, QVVR, you can get it. VVR is the variable bitrate. So we recommend only you have to put in CVR mode. Basically, if you send with the VVR means the video rate would be varied, means video bitrate would be varying, and we don't know what would be the highest quality. So better to fix with the maximum quality so that your content could be with a good quality. Basically, we are fetching. We think that whatever you are sending from the ground location, that should be in good quality. So always try to push with the constant bitrate, HLS format and MPEG-dash format. So we support both, but HLS is widely used format. So mostly clients are going with the HLS format. That is HTTP live streaming is an HTTP adaptive bitrate streaming communication protocol developed by Apple. Support for the protocol is widespread in media players, web browsers, mobile devices, and streaming media servers. So I put it so that you can also read it and can get more benefited. In safe fashion, there is an impact test. So this is a busy proprietary protocol. That is the DAS is a dynamic adaptive streaming protocol. Basically, we are sending all this data over HTTP, right? That is why it is a HTTP protocols for sending media over the internet. But the differences between two is their proprietary, but both are good. And for HLS, the extension format would be .m3 and for MPEG-DAS would be .mpd. So you can identify which one is the HLS and which one is the MPEG-DAS URL. During our hands-on, we could understood about the SSI, server side and insertion. Add insertion. Basically, sometimes clients are interested to insert SAD while live streaming. For that, taking insertion of SAD means ads, they have to provision with some SKT marker. The end encoder means the ground location encoder or production encoder should be configured with SKT marker. So SKT marker would be triggered and that will reach to our encoder and where the server's URL would be here and those URL would be triggered. The ad server will serve the ad according to once you are stopping the trigger, the ad server would stop the triggering the ad. SSAI, this is required that SKT marker should be implemented from the ground location. So normally in RTMP, SKT markers are not passed, but in HLS and other format, SKT markers are passed. Related to DRM, digital right management, basically a lot of customers are intended that they don't want to access their content by the unauthorized user. So they would like to integrate with the DRM. Here is, we say, yes, we are integrated with the DRM. Presently, we are integrated with the Axinam DRM. The tool who is having the DRM configuration in those would be having, if you go in app CMS menu, there is a DRM setting. There would be certain DRM provider like Widevine, that is the Google one. Other one is the Play Ready. Fair Play is from Apple. This parameter would be killed in that case if it is integrated. Hope this is fine for you and we can go for the hands-on training. Basically, we are going to learn how to create the live workflow for the live stream. So under the content menu, there is the add new. There are two things. One is the video and other is the live event. Okay, let's go with the live event I'm creating here. Here you are getting, see, do you require low latency? Yes or no? Low latency is only supported for 5 years. I earlier said that interactive video services. That is a kind of TMP, but that is very less used. So normally we don't use a low latency protocol. So we tick as a no. And here is the AWS reason. Basically, these reasons are saying that the user is nearby which region. If someone is in Europe, in London, so they can select Europe, London. If someone is in Singapore, they should select Singapore. So these are the nearby data center from where you can target your streams and you can create your work. Basically, this gives you flexibility to send all the RTMP or stream with the low network delay. I'm creating here, selecting US East, North Virginia. So I'm going here with RTMP push, primary keys and secondary keys. It is saying that you are creating a redundant workflow. It means if one gets failed, other would be taken over. Here are the credentials for the primary stream keys and here is the secondary keys. I have explained there would be some RTMP address, some public IP, then port number. After port number, there are forward slash. After port number, there is some text. So we will put here a stream key, the server key. Stream key would be, actually stream key would be here. Please make sure should not be matched with each other. Here is a IP4, IP whitelisted. If you are already fixed with the particular IP, then we can put it here. So that this RTMP would be generated on that. Since we are going to push this RTMP push, it means we are generating the RTMP endpoints. Event side encoder will target and push their stream. Here are a few more parameters. Caption setting. Caption for sending the data you can upload here and here embedded with your video. But we are going to learn about live streaming. Here, normally we used to send a runtime around 10,000. Okay, now here is our role where we are going to learn more things. If our tool is integrated with the DRM, then we will click here yes. If not, then we will click here no. So let's see. Basically, we are in progress for that. This will be explained later on. I'm not going to cover these things. Here, SSI required means server side and insertion. As I told, if we are doing add insertion, then we will click here yes, a live to word converter. It means once the event would be over, then the same content can be converted as a word, and that would be available in our tool. SSI no. If I put SSI, you see here two things. Here is enter SSI add tags URL, and here is the pre-roll add tags. There are two parameters asking about server side and insertion. Means client is interested to send the advertisement. So the advertisement would be delivered by any advertising provider company. It may be Google Ad Manager, maybe some other partner, right? So those ad tech provider will give you an URL. If it is here on top one, it would be mid-roll or a lot of pods. Means that URL would be having multiple ad tags. Means that will serve a multiple ad one by one, and that's ad would be served between the live streaming. Pre-roll one means whenever the client is triggering to your website, so ad would start playing. Sometimes you have been seen you are clicking some video, then ad would start playing. We can put like this, copy here and paste here. But I'm not going to put all this in. This is a Google proprietary thing. I'm just showing you. But in this case, I've already told that pre-roll and mid-roll will work. Pre-roll can work, but mid-roll will work once ground location encoder will or production encoder will trigger a SKT marker, so that he will say, okay, now commercial is going to be started. Now trigger here. Then they will click the SKT marker would be inserted in stream. That stream SKT marker would be identified by the server, and the server will start serving the mid roll from here. Basically, once you select here yes or no or yes, you create the workflow. Workflow would be created. Let me create one workflow. Live to word conversion is here. Okay, I'm going to not put here no. Then I'm going to create workflow. So you can see new live event is under processing. Basically, our ViewLift tool is very easy to configure a workflow. Now, see, the workflow has been almost created. You click on here, and you will see the detail about those things. Now, here, see, the workflow is created. It means now you have to publish this video to whether it is your website or iOS platform or whether it is a Android platform according to the package you have taken or purchased from our site. So now you have to put the event title. I'm putting here that testing video. Still live streaming is under progress since it is not fully deployed. You can see here. Okay, this one is mandatory for that one. Okay, can I go? So the API is creating workflow. Here you can see CloudFront is processing. It means the workflow is being created. After once the your workflow is created, here you would see that this has been progressed. And here's the toggle button. And here would be pop-up start live streaming. And if you want to see what are the RTMP URL, you can see it here below this. And the rest of the field has been already explained in previous webinar. So if you want to see after what is our final URL, you can see here rendition and you can get it here. Still it is under progress, so you cannot see until it gets populated. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 10 minutes. So it's taking time. I hope you understand what I am doing and how we are creating the workflow. Okay, it is under progress. So meanwhile, I'm going to present other thing. Like I shown you third party. If you see my agenda here, there is a third party live linear feed. Sometimes you get HLS URL from the some other client side or some other location. And you just want to populate this HLS over your website. Then you have to again go on your tool and let's say this is your tool, and again you will go in content, then you will see add new. Under the add new there is the option add video. Under the add video you will see live event. I have already shown that thing. So once you create the live event, it will ask for the name of the event, and then it will ask for the your HLS URL or dash URL. You see enter the live stream URL. So you can copy and paste the correct URL, and here is the DRM enabled. But if you that URL needed to be DRM enabled, there would be a checkbox if you want to enable DRM or not. But make sure that you have been already enabled DRM with your services if you are going to enable DRM. If the customer is not having DRM, then this won't show there on their tool. So this would be only be seen for those who is having integrated their DRM. But below this DRM, you can see start time, in time. So here you can also schedule that when this event is going to be started. You can automate from here itself. It will automatically populate and start those things. So here add new, then you will go in add video. There is the live event. The live event, you will see this window. Here you will put the HLS URL and you can copy and paste and click OK. Then it will again create a video object for you. This might be having some problem or taking a little bit longer time. We can check the logs and we can come back again. Basically, that is all about the live streaming. Once it would be populated, you can see the CloudFront is deployed, and you will see start live stream here.
So Carlos had some issue with the live streaming. He says, I have had issue with the CloudFront processing time. Sometimes it helps to close the live video object and open it again. Okay, so it's a suggestion. So Amir, if you're speaking, you're on mute.
Oh yeah, I was on mute. So,
and we have another question, like why is low latency not preferred? Wouldn't it be anything faster?
Basically, this is specific to IBS. So this is a different kind of workflow. That is why we don't prefer with this one. Even latency is better. Only we will get a few second latency earlier than that one. So we prefer RTMP. RTMP is better, and HLS is also good one. Basically, for the sending over this one IBS, you have to make a different provision for that. That is why we less customer uses IBS. Until now, we have only one customer who is using IBS one. So I think we recommend better to use this one, the widely used, which is already trusted. Let me check here. I have opened other pages which is already having a deployed one. So you can see here in front of this live stream, there is the red button that is the start live stream. Here are the RTMP stream. You can see here. This is not having the backup RTMP. We have a configured only single RTMP. So in that area, you have configured live and TV board stream one. So here you can see the RTMP location where the end user is going to be target all these things. So we can start live streaming here. If I start, it will start live streaming. It will show starting. Yeah, the live streaming is started. And you can see here the channel status is starting. Once it would be started, it would show like it is running. Earlier, I told you that once the channel would be started, after that, you start sending RTMP stream from the event location. So channel status would be here as a running. Basically, it is warming up. It will take around 1 to 2 minutes maximum. I think I haven't covered this part. Again, I'm going to show you third party one. You will go here, video, third party. This is a live streaming. You are getting some live feed from the other people. You will create here a live event. You need to put the title of that event, URL of that event. If it is a HLS, then it would be end with .m3ul, and then you will create OK, then it would simply create a video object. Again, you are going to start the channel, then you will see everything. I think I have covered all these things. If you have any problem or any question, write an email to here.
Thank you, Swami, for a very informative presentation on the live streaming. We appreciate having this area finally clarified for all of us. So, I, on behalf of the ViewLift team, thank all the participants for taking your time in attending this webinar. We will share this recording with you over email later. Thanks again and have a good day, everyone.